The words of Qoheleth, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Soch o sochs, quo Qoheleth, soch o sochs, o soch. What's the lave for a man, frae all his days aneath the sun? Generations come, generations gang, the yard bides for aye. Up comes the sun, down gaes the sun, or it come up, back there it snoves. Blowin' south'art, jinkin' nor'art, burlin' roon and roon gaes the wind. For all it's burlin', back it comes. Ilka burn rins to the sea is never felt. To the bield they come frae, there the burns rin back. O sic carry-ons mak weary, a man canna dae wi' it. The ease no sluck it wi' seeing, the lugs no stap it wi' hearing. What's been is what will be, what's done is what will be done. There's no a thing that's new aneath the sun. Maybe there's a ploy o' whilk folk say, see on it's new. It's been lang syne, lang afore us. There's nae minding o' them that come first. Say them that come after, the folk at the end winna mind either. See me, Qoheleth, I was king o'er Israel, in Jerusalem. I gied out my mind to studying and to piking out with wiseheed all that's done aneath the heavens. Thorns and ill handling at Yahweh has given the world's bairns to fash themselves wi'. I look at to all the danes that is done aneath the sun, and figs, such as suchs, and chasing after wind. The throne nane can strochten. What's wanting, nane can count. I thought to mysel, see me, I've growed mair muckle and added mair to my wiseheed nor ony that was afore me our Jerusalem. And my mind in ettle earnest has gathered wiseheed and wittens. Say I put my mind to ken wiseheed and to ken folly and gightness forby. And I leart at this tay was chasing the wind. For when muckle wiseheed comes muckle fashery. Meer lair, meer sair. I said to mysel, come on, let me try out pleasure on ye, and prove all that's good. Thon was but a sook and all. Laughter, I said, it's doitert, and daffin, what does it dae? I sought to mysel to kittle my body wi' wine, while my mind was guided by wiseheed, and say tak a hod of folly for to see what would be better for folk today, aneath the heavens as the days of their lives couldn't doon. I increased my hoddens. I bigot mysel hooses and planted vineyards. I made mysel gardens and parks and planted them with all kind of fruit trees. I made mysel pools of water for to slock frae them shaws of grouthy trees. I bocht male and female slaves, and their bairns born in the hoose were mines. My purchases of kye and yows were mair nor ony was afore me in Jerusalem. I gathered together gowd and siller and the treasures of kings and stewardries. I got myself sangsters, male and female, and all the pleasures of humankind, breasts and mair breasts. Say I become greater, increasing mair nor all that was in Jerusalem afore me. For by my wiseheed stood by me. All that my ain spirit for, I didn't deny them, and I didn't deny mysel onything that would please me, for I was canty wi' all my gear, on with my share o' my wealth. Then I considered all 'at my hands had done, and the gear I had gained through all my danes and fegs. It was a sough and chasing the wind. There was nae lave aneath the sun. Then I took a turn to mysel to look at wisehead and folly and gightness. For what about the man that will come after the king wha amassed these achievements? And I saw that there is a lave frae wisehead our folly, like the lave o' licht our darkness. The wise man has een in his head, while the fool gaes about in the murk. But I can't tay 'at the weird o' ane is the weird o' a', and I said to mysel, the weird o' the gomerel is my weird and a'. What for hae I been sae wise? Noo I said to mysel that this tay was but a sough, for there is nae minding of the wise ony mair than of the fool in eternity. As the days rin on, a' are forgotten, and ochone the gleg-witted dees alang with a gowk. Sae I was scunnert at life. Ill seeming to me were a' the danes done aneath the sun, for a's a sough and chasing the wind. And I was scunnert at the gear I had gathered aneath the sun, the whilk I'm on leave to the ane that follies me. Wha kens whether he will be gleg or glaikit? And he will be meester o' all my gear that I truchled and raxed my hands ower. Thon tay is a sough. Sae I turn myself ower to one hope, on account of all the truckle I had truckled at aneath the sun. See a man wha cam guid by wisehead, lair and skill, but maun haun a' to a chiel wha hasna wrestled for it as his dale. Thon tay is a sough, and a muckle ill. What is there for a man in all the truckle and fashery he drees aneath the sun? All his days, fyke and pine, is his occupation. At nicht, his mind willna sleep. Thon's the sough and a'. There is naething good for a man, but to eat and drink and dae what is best for his sell frae his store. This tay, sae I can see, is for the hon of God himsel. For wha eats and wha drinks for me, but mysel? Is it 'at to the man wha is good afore him he gies wisehead and wittens and pleasure, and to him 'at displeases him he gies the hunger to gather and store, ainly to gie it to the ane that's good afore God? Thon as weel is a sough and chasing the wind. For all thing there is a season, and a time for ilka matter aneath the heavens, a time for birthing, and a time for deeing, a time for planting, and a time for howking what is planted, a time for slaughtering, and a time for mending, a time for cawing down, and a time for bigging up, a time for greeting, and a time for laughing, a time for mourning, and a time for dancing, a time for casting stains, and a time for gathering stains, a time for embracing, and a time no to embrace, a time for seeking, and a time for lossing, a time for keeping, and a time for chucking out, a time for reaving, and a time for sewing up, a time for hodding your wisht, and a time for talking, A time for loving and a time for hating. A time for war and a time for peace. What is the lave for the ane that does things for a' his trochel? I've seen the hondlings that God has given to humankind to fash themselves away. All he has wrought is braw in its time. Forby he had something unco and aye biding in their hearts. But a sick away at nane can you lose the danes o' God, frae start to finish. Say, I understood that there is naething better for them but blithely to dae the good while they are leaving. And forby for ilk ane wha eats and drinks and sees good things frae all his wrestlings. Thon is God's gift. I understand that all God does will be for aye. There's naething to be added to it, and frae it naething can be ta'en away. And God has done this, sae they fear him. Whatever is, already was, and whatever will be, has already been. And God seeks out what has been chased awa. Mair I saw aneath the sun that i' the stead of justice there was wickedness, and in the stead of righteousness there too was wickedness. I said to mysel, God will be the judge o' what is righteous or wicked. For there is a time for ilka matter, and a time for all the danes there. And I said to mysel, anent humankind, God test them, to show them that they are beasts. Aye, thon is what they are. For the weird o' humankind and the weird o' a beast is aye weird. The death o' ane is sib to the death o' the other. The breath o' life is ane for a'. The advantage o' man or beast? There is nane. For all thing is but a such. All gang to the ae place. All come frae stour, and tae stour they all win back. Wha kens gif a man's breath o' life gangs up a kye, or gif a beast's breath of life gaes doon sinking into the yard. And I saw that naething is better for a man nor to be blithe among his store, for thon is his dale. For wha will learn him to see what will be in the hereafter? Say, I turn to look at all the hodden doon that gaes on aneath the sun. The tears of the doon hodden, with nane to comfort them, and the strength in the horns of them holding them doon, and nane to comfort them. Then I esteemed the deed wha had already weed awa, are the living, who were living yet. Better nor baith of them that havena yet come to be, and havena seen the ill danes done aneath the sun. And I saw at all ettlin and craftiness come frae a man's envy for his neighbour, a such and chasing the wind. The gomerel folds his horns and eats his meat. Better ae horn fu of socht, nor baith horns fu a trochel and chasing the wind. And I turned ains mair and saw a such aneath the sun. See ane without a partner, no even a son or brother. Yet there is nae end to all his strochel, and his ee is never satisfied with riches. And for what am I strochling, while denying mysel the good of it. This tay is a soch and chasing the wind. Twa are better nor ein, as they hae a good reward frae their trochel. Should they fa, ein can raise his partner, but weighs him at fa's his lane, when nae second to raise him up. For by gin twa lie together, it's warm for them, but there is nae worm in ein on his lane. Gin ein attacks, twa can ston agin him. A threefold threed is na quickly broke. Better a beggarly but wise laddie, nor an old and doitered king wha nae langer kens who to take a warning. For he can come frae the jail to be king, for all that he was born poor in his kingdom. But I saw all the leaving stravaging aneath the sun, with a second laddie wha stands in his stead. There is nae end to all the folk, to all them that are afore him, and even them wha are after him, all tak nae pleasure in him. That tay is but a soch, and chasing the wind. Watch your step when ye gang to the house o' God. An offering o' obedience is better nor a gomeril's gift of sacrifice, for they hae nae way o' kenning that they are daeing ill. Dinna be hasty with your moo, and dinna let your heart rin to utter words before God. For God is i' the heavens, and ye are on the yard. Say, let your words be scanty. Just as dreams come wi' muckle brussel, say the voice of a gomeril comes wi' a footh o' words. Gin ye mak a vow to God, dinna pit off making it good, for he takes nae pleasure i' fools. What ye vow, mak good. It is better no to vow a vow, nor to vow and no mak good. Dinna gie ower your moo to leading your body astray, and dinna say afore the messenger that it was a mishunter. Why get God's dander up wi' your blethers? Say he dwines all the danes o' your hands to a soch. In the midst o' a handful of dreams and sochs and words, fear God. Gin ye see the hodden doon o' the poor, and the gloamin' awa of recht and justice, it's nae fairly, for ae heejin is keepit by a heacher heejin, and baith by the heachmeist. The bean for the land frae all thon is a king and a weel workit field. A lover of siller never has a neuch o' siller, nor a lover of property a neuch o' what it brings. Thon is but a soch and all. As good things increase, them that devours them increase. Say what advantage to their measter, yont hae a keek at them. Douce is the workman's sleep, whether he has muckle or mickle to eat, but the rich man's gear leaves him walkriff. There is another ill hap I ha seen aneath the sun. Richard keep it by their measter to his ain skaith. Thon riches are tint a feckless ploy, and he feathers a son with naething in his horn. Just as he cam naked out o' his mither's wame, so he maun return. As he cam, he maun gae, and can bring nane o' his stare in his hand. This tay is an ill hap. Just as he cam, he gaes. And what is the lay for him, frae all his trochel? For by all his days he eats i' the murk, wi' muckle deevance and sickness and crabbitness. Noo this alane hae I found to be good and fitting, to eat, drink, and see the good in all the trochel ane has trochelt. Aneath the sun, in the stinted days, God has gi'en him, for thon is his dale. Hilke man at God gies riches and gear, and allows to eat o' it, and accept his portion, and be canty in his store, thon is the gift o' God. He shouldna hae mind o'er muckle for the days o' his life, for God will keep him ident wi' cantiness. There is an ill I hae seen aneath the sun rife among men. There's a man wha God grants riches and gear and store, say he wants naething that his heart ettles after, but God disna let him eat o' it. A fremmet man eats o' it. That it's a such and an ill matter. Gin a man faithers 100 bairns and lives mony years, yet canna stow his wame frae his gids, and there is no even a grave for him, and I say a miscarried bairn is it better nor him. Although wi' a such it comes, and in darkness it gaes, and even its name is smoored in the murk, although it hasna even seen the sun and kens naething, its lown is better nor his. Aye, even gin he lived twice times 1,000 year, but never saw the good frae it. Are they no all going to the ae place? All a man's trochel is for his moo, but he can never fill his thrapple. What lave has the wise ony mair nor the gomerel? Or a poor body wha kens who to get on wi' living? Better the sicht o' the ee than the gains on o' the thrapple. This tay is a such and chasing the wind. Whatever happens, was gi'en its name lang syne, and kent for what it is. As for humanity, it canna fecht with what is stronger nor it. For where there's mair blethers, there's mair suchs. What's the gain for a man? For wha kens what is good for folk o' the stinted days o' this such o' a life that gaes by like a shadow? Wha can tell ony ane what will come after aneath the sun? A fair name is better nor fine ointment, and the day o' death better nor the day o' birth. Better to gang to the hoose o' mourning nor to gang to the hoose o' feasting, for thon is the end o' ilkane, and the leaving suld tak it to heart. Better dool nor lochter, for in the midst of dowie faces the heart can be hale. The hearts of the wise are in the hoose o' mourning, and the hearts of gomerals in the hoose o' lochter. Better to hearken to the rebuke of the wise, nor to be the ane that hearkens to the sang of fools. For like the crackle of winds aneath a girdle is the lochter of fools, and thon tay is a such. For oppression maks a fool of the wise, and creashing his liff can brak his mens. The outcome o' a matter is better nor its oncome, better a tholin spirit than a he-heeded spirit. Dinna haste your spirit to anger, for anger rests in the breasts of fools. Dinna say, who did it fa' out that the days gane by were better nor these? For it isna for a wisehead that ye speerin' thong. Wisehead is as good as an airship, and a boon to them that seens the sun. For to be i' the shade of wisehead is to be in the shade of silver, and the advantage of kenning wisehead is that it gives its honour life. Look on God's days, walk in Strochten, what he has made throne. I good days, tak the good, and in ill days, tak tent. God made the ane and the other, say it humankind canna airt out onything about what comes after. I has seen it in my such of a life. There is a righteous man wha perishes maugre his righteousness. There's a limmer wha ekes out his life in his ill-deediness. Say, binna unco good, or mak a grand show of wyseed, or ye may be dumfoonert. Binna unco evil, or a gomeril. What for would ye do when it's no your time? The best course is to seize how to baith this and thon without letting go, for the fear of God will put obody through. Wiseheed strengthens the wise, mair nor 10 bailies in a city, for there is no a righteous man on earth what does the good and doesna fail. Dinna tak tent a ilka word at is said, say ye dinna hear your servants speak lichtly o ye, for ye ken full well i your heart that ye hae spoken lichtly o others. All this approved wi' wiseheed. I said, let me be wise, but it was far ayont me. What has been is a wa off and deep, deep. Walk and find it. I turned heart and soul to study and explore and seek out wiseheed and reason, and to study wickedness, folly, glaiketness and gightness. And I fun, mair bitter nor death, the woman was all cantrips. Her heart is snares and nets, and her horns are shackles. Ain wise pleasing to God can juke her, but the sinner is catched by her. See, this is what I found out, said Qoheleth, taking things ane by ane to seek out the pattern. The whilk I sought wi' my mind, but didna find. A man in 1,000 I fund, but fiend a woman among them did I find. See the A finding a day hae. God made humankind A-fold, but they hae sought out a handful o' patterns. Wha is like a wise man, and wha can gie the sense o' this saying? A man's wiseheed lichtens his face, and the dourness o' his look is changed. I say, dae the king's biddings, and keep the aith ye made to God. Dinna haste out o' his presence, but gang, and dinna tak a stone on an ill affair, for he can dae what he likes. The king's word, his authority. Wha will say to him, what are ye daeing? Ane wha bides by his commands will no ken ony ill. But the wise man kens i' his heart there is a time of doom. For ilka matter there is time for doom and awe, for a man's ill wechts doon on him. He has nae notion what will be, even as it happens, was to tell him. Nae man has power o'er the wind, nor can bind the wind. There's nae authority o'er the day o' death. There's nae leave frae the on battle, and wickedness will no save its master. O thon I saw, and I keep it in my heart all the days that are done aneath the sun, while men hae poor our other men to their ill. As an instance, I hae seen scoundrels brocht it to their graves, and folk cam and went frae the holy place, and praised them in the very city where they had done their deeds. This tale is but a soch. Since the doom for ill danes is no pronounced belive, the hearts of men are filled with ill dane. A limmer can dae ill 100 times, and it is I pit off. Am I telled at all will be well for them at fears God, acause they fear him to his face, but it will na be well for the limmer, and he will na lengthen his days, just like a shadow, acause he doesna fear God to his face. But there is cause for a such that does occur in this world. Betimes an upright man is rewarded as though he had done ill deeds, while an ill-deedy man is rewarded as though he had done good. I say that cause for a such. Say I recommend cantiness. There is nothing good for a man aneath the sun but eating and drinking and being canty. Then will gang wi' him in all the trouble o' his days o' the life God gies him aneath the sun. For I have put my mind to studying wiseheed, and to observing the business that is done on the yard, say at day and nicht there is nae rest for my een. I have seen all God's doings, and that a man canna find out all that is done under the sun. A man may struggle to seek them out, but he will not find them. A wise man may say he kens, but he canna find them. For all this I tak to heart, and I clarified all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are a God's horn, be it love, be it hate. Humankind kens naething of what is afore them. The same weird falls to all, the righteous and the wicked, the douce and pure and the impure. Ane wha sacrifices, and ane wha doesna sacrifice. For good or ill, the ane that swears, and the ane wha is fear to earth. Here is what is wrong with all that happens beneath the sun, that there is a weird for all. Mair the hearts of men are full of ill will and foolishness is in their minds, and thereafter, after the deed. For he that is joined with a living, there is a hope, for a leaving dug is better nor a deed lying. At least, the leaving ken that they will die, but the deed ken. Deed fleas will turn the perfumer's precious ointment mocket. Say a wee bit folly outwechts wiseheed. The mind of the wise is to the right, the mind of the gomerel to the left. Even on the road, the way a gomerel is ganging, his mind's awa', and that tells a'body he's a fool. Gin a Higian's dander is up agin ye, dinna gie up your place, for a calm such will lay to rest muckle wrangs. Here's an ill thing I hae seen under the sun, like as the ruler had decreed a mistake. A gowk was placed on the highest of heights, while the rich had to sit in the lake places. I had seen slaves on cuddies, and lairds pitting fit to grun like slaves. Ane wha digs a pit will fall into it. Ane wha caws doon a dyke, a snake will bite. Ane wha hooks out stains may racks himsel, and ane wha cuts doon trees may be in danger frae them. Gin the axe is blunt, for nane has sharpened it, he must gather his strength. The advantage of wisehead is doing things recht. Gin a snake bites a four-onid sherm, the skilly charmer has nae advantage. Words frae a wise man's moo are mensful, but the lips of a gomeril will gollop him doon. His blether starts out just daft, but ends a wicked gightness. Nevertheless, he blethers and better blethers. A man canna ken what will be. What the hinner end is, nane can tell him. The trochels of gomerils leave them fair for fochen. They canna even get to the tune. Way to ye land, was king is but a halfling, and was princes are already feasting in the morn. Blithe are ye land, was king is weel born, and was princes eat at the recht time, when mens and without gil ravaging. Through sweerty the roof falls in, and through idling horns the hoose will leak. For Lochter a feast is made, wine lichtens life, and siller answers for all. Even in thocht dinna ill speak the king, and dinna ill speak a rich man even in your ain chommer, for a fowl o' the air might carry awa the sound, and a wet thing clipe o' the matter. Cast your breed on the face of the waters, for after mony days ye will find it. Gie out a dale to 7 or 8, for ye dinna ken what ill thing could befall the yard. Gin the clouds are fu, they will teem rain on the yard. Gin a tree falls, whether to north or south, where it fell, there will it bide. Wha watches the wind will never sow, and wha observes the clouds will never ingether. Just as ye dinna ken who the life breath enters the banes when a fu wame, so ye dinna ken the danes o' God, what does all thing. At the morn, sow your seed, and at e'en dinna pull back your horn, for ye dinna ken whether ane or the other will thrive, or maybe the two of them are equally good. The licht is sweet, and it is a delight to the een to see the sun. Gin a man leaves mony years, let him hae pleasure in all of them, keeping in mind who mony the days of darkness will be. All that is to come is a such. Be canty, my lad, in your youthhead. Let your heart lead ye to the good of your young days. Gae the ways of your heart, wi' up and in. For all this, God will bring you to account. Cast out care frae your mind, and rid your body o' wrang. For youthhead and the dawn are all a sooth. Mind on your source the days of your youthhead, afore the ill days come, and the years are near hon when you will say, there's nae purpose for me of them, afore the darkening of the licht of the sun, the moon, and the sterns, and the clouds come back after the rain, when the girds of the hoose tremble, and the strong men are bowed o'er. The grinders cease as they are few, and the dames keeking through the windy are bleared. The yets to the street are shut tae, and the clack o' the mall dwines awa. Een stares at the cry o' a bird, and all the doctors o' song are laid low. They are afeard o' hichts, and no terrors on the road. The almond tree blooms, the locust brochels along, the caper bush bears fruit, while man is gane to his hame for aye, with murners about him i' the road. Afore the cord of Scylla writhes, and the gowden bowl bracks, the jug is shattered at the spring, and the whale is smashed aside the well, and the stour gaes back to the yard as it was, and the life breath gaes back to God, wha gave it. Such o suchs, quo Qoheleth, such o suchs. Aething mair. Sin Qoheleth was a wise man, he was lief to learn folk, and he hearkened to mony saws and tried their wholesomeness. Qoheleth sought for fitting words, and what was screeved honestly as words of truth. The words of the wise are like gods, and like weel-fixed nails. Meisters o' collections passed them on to the ae shepherd. And aething mair, tak warning by them, my son. There is nae end to the making o' mony books, and our ettlesome study is troublesome to the flesh. The sum o' the matter, ains all has been said. Fear God and keep his commandments. Now this applies to Obadi. For all that is done, God will bring to bear on judging all that is hidden, be it good or ill.